with TUGA versus NYC Chris. And you can see here that TUGA had a fantastic performance in Atlanta, of course, very recently. He's looking pretty good here, 2-1 up against Chris, and Chris has been sort of the nearly man in these round of 16s a few times now, gets through Swiss quite consistently, but can't quite find those big performances when it matters.
Yeah, and you're going to struggle against the current PS4 champion, as it were, in TUGA from Atlanta.
Chance!
But, well, that's what Chris can offer. When you least expect it, he comes out of nowhere. And those are the goals he needs to put away. As you said, there's been so many nearly tournaments for him, Mark. And NYC Chris, again, one of those players I think we will see at the playoffs. We could see it at the World Cup finals. But these are the tournaments where he needs to show up. These are the games where he needs to manage to secure the wins and get those Global Series ranking points. He's 10th at the moment on the PS4 side of things. And we've seen how you can leap with one good tournament. TUGA did it already. So that maybe this is a chance for Chris. And you've got to remember, the North American players, I mean, that is quite a change in terms of time zones for them. Even worse than the Europeans.
It's very, very true. And Chris is one of these players who I just see getting better and better again as the season is going on. He seems to be more confident in his own game. And he is starting to find these results. And maybe Singapore's going to be kind to him. Maybe he can find his way a little bit deeper into the bracket. And with every round that goes past, I remember speaking to him in London, he was saying sometimes he beats himself. It's more of a mental game for him than it is a technical game and a mechanical game at times. So keep an eye on that player cam, especially when Chris goes behind. Can he keep his composure and keep his head in these tight situations here? Because now he's coming forward with Marcelo.
And I can't stress enough, Mark, how important it is to manage to claw that goal back for Chris. Because TUGA is one of these players, when he gets a goal advantage, he will sit on it. He does play a very defensive style. He will get 10 men, sometimes 11 men behind the ball and really frustrate his opponent. So the fact that Chris has managed to open up this game by getting that goal back is going to be so important for him.
What a save from De Gea.
Wow, that's massive.
Chris again looking for that cross. He's going to whip it in again, and he gets there! Finds the crossbar! And you can see there, Chris showing a little bit of frustration there. Thought he'd done enough to beat the goalkeeper and give himself that lead. But after De Gea made the initial save, the crossbar is what denies New York City Chris. And now Pele up the other end for TUGA. Ronaldo can't beat his man. Well defended there by Chris, and ooh, a little bit of risk involved there, but finally he'll get the ball here. De Gea picks it up gleefully with both hands and spreads it right out now to Ramos.
You can see this first leg ending at 2-2 if TUGA is just going to be a little bit defensive and nothing's going to go Chris's way in these last moments. But I remember when TUGA was in these kind of situations back in Atlanta, he knows when to switch things up. He turns the heat up at the right moments, but he's going to be more than happy, I think, at just 2-2 in the first leg.
Here's Messi then onto that left foot. Neymar now, 5-star weak foot. Doesn't matter, but what way you go!
Oh, wow.
But Chris chooses the right way with his goalkeeper movement there. Big save coming in from De Gea.
And I feel like goalkeeper movement is still so important. I feel like because of the meta and how we lost first-time finesse shots, etc. from outside the box, some people have got somewhat lazy with their goalkeeper movement where they feel they don't necessarily have to move it as much. So if you're still switched on and you're going to take those risks, you are going to be rewarded for those risks, providing you choose the right way and you're reading the game correctly.
Perfect example of it there from NYC Chris. The shot was hit well there by TUGA. Ball into the front post now. Ronaldo almost beat the goalkeeper to it. De Gea's kind of in no man's land here. And now he's given the ball away. Neymar with the shot. Referee will stop the play here. And it will be a free kick just outside the box. 78 minutes on the clock here. TUGA goes direct, but just shanks that one wide.
Yeah, that's different. That's not something I'm used to seeing. I feel like just blasting it wide, but maybe TUGA was trying something else. Maybe a mistake with his button combination there. Maybe he's just trying to step over that ball and just missed one of the buttons. Who knows? But that's a let-off for Chris, certainly.
Chris then, who's had some success by whipping that ball in to the box and winning some headers towards the back post. Attacking the flanks once more. Ronaldo now to Hullet. This is good play here from Chris. Hullet finds a bit of space with R9. The heel-to-heel almost finds its way through the final defender before he could get that shot away. But that's a great ball in behind now. From one end to the other, Pele, one-on-one with De Gea, takes a touch and finishes it. TUGA celebrates. And that's how quick things can turn around here. Chris at one end with a chance. Can't beat the defender. TUGA goes straight up the other end now. And with just 6 minutes left on the clock, Dan, is that the winning blow?
Certainly could be for the first leg, but still plenty to come in this tie. 4-4-2 though. We saw it in Atlanta from TUGA. We saw how maybe he's changing the meta one step at a time by himself. I think when people start to see how successful he manages to play with that 4-4-2 and how those wingers are just sprinting up the pitch and they offer those through balls on that right and left hand side, maybe we might see more people start switching to it.
Ball in there from Chris. Looking to expose Marcelo's height there in that fullback position. Marcelo did well though to win that header. Now with just a few minutes left, TUGA, if he can find another goal here, will be very comfortable going into the second leg with a 2-goal lead. Waiting for the run here of Ronaldo. Good play again from TUGA now. Inside the box, Pele, lovely close dribbling from him. Pele, heel to heel, beats one man looking for the cricketer. And Chris survives here as we move into added time at the end of our first leg.
And I am surprised that TUGA didn't really keep the ball there. I thought maybe he'd keep possession and have the last attack of the game, but instead he gives Chris a chance to equalise here in the end of the first leg. Certainly always gets nervy towards the end of games.
Ronaldo trying to get round the outside of his man. I think that one has just dribbled out of play here for a goal kick, so that should be the last action of our first leg here. And there it is, the referee's whistle goes to this one.
The only thing for me in these games against TUGA, and every player I think is probably feeling the same, is no one's really found a way to counter his 4-4-2. We saw it at Atlanta as well. I mean, unless you're Tex and you just dominate the possession and you take TUGA completely out of the game, people were finding it difficult to actually have an answer for what TUGA has offered in these tournaments.
Mbappe wins the ball back for Chris there. Now, speaking to Boras, and he was actually impressed with the way that TUGA was using the formation defensively. Usually we think of 4-4-2 as quite a defensive formation with the two strikers and those two wide players getting up, but he was saying that he has those two wingers on set to drop back.
It almost works as like two defensive walls. I say it's a little bit like gladiators when you're running the gauntlet. You get this 4 players who sit on the halfway line, you have to get past them, and then you have to get past the second set of 4 players of the back 4, and it can be so difficult, as that was very close to being a mistake there from TUGA.
Yeah, speaking of difficult, that would have been pretty difficult to watch there for TUGA. Had he just thrown a goal away and thrown his lead away. But alas, he stays alive. And now he's on the attack with Mbappe. Tries to get around the outside with the cricketer, but gets forced wide there. Will be a goal kick now to Chris.
I'm just surprised I'm not seeing a Portuguese flag being flown in the crowd like I did constantly through Atlanta. I believe TUGA's mother came out, and I think she might be here in Singapore as well. Fantastic support. Always great to see parents and friends, family come out and support players, because sometimes you do need it. You need that little bit of extra hope, extra little bit of love and support. It does help you through it.
Here comes TUGA then. R9 goes on his left foot. Goalkeeper movement again from Chris, just cutting off that near post angle. Now the corner taken short. Neymar to the edge of the box. Ramos maybe with a chance to hit it himself. Varane now to Mbappe. No surprise to see this ball being recycled here by TUGA. Varane and Ramos, not the two players you'd probably pick out of the 11 to be letting fly with, should we say.
And that is always the problem with playing it back like that in a corner, is you do kind of just like kill the situation yourself, you kill the chance yourself, but you keep possession, and that is what TUGA cares about. He cares about keeping possession and restricting the play from Chris. Ultimately, if he stops Chris from having attacks, he is going to win the game here. So he's just depriving Chris of that possession and kind of just frustrating him here.
Vieira then, maybe the chance here, almost found the ball through. That killer ball to R9, but another corner here for TUGA. And Chris really on the back foot here. Ramos. Dan's jumping out of his seat, telling him to hit it.
Just hit it! Ramos has a great strike on him in the right scenarios.
Taken short again here by TUGA.
Oh, love
great
that.
Ball into the front post, set up towards the back post. Chris really hanging on here. All of the pressure coming in from TUGA, but somehow Chris survives.
The old dipsy doodle from TUGA as well. A little bit of repetition, saying I'm just going to pass this one out to the edge of the box again and again. And then just as Chris expects it, he switches things up and almost is rewarded with a chance on goal because of it. Good stuff from TUGA.
Now, wouldn't this be classic FIFA after all the pressure that TUGA has for Chris to go straight up the other end and find a goal himself? But TUGA switched on defensively here.
If we're talking classic FIFA, which FIFA are you think about? Like, because if I think of classic FIFA, I think FIFA 98. That's classic for me.
I don't want to show my age. Anyway, Mbappe round the corner. To Ruud Gullit, almost finds the ball back. FIFA 94, by the way.
I thought
Vieira into Gullit. Chance here for R9. Gets it onto his left foot. Oh, tried to squeeze the ball back into Gullit, I believe. I don't think that was a shot. Chris has really been hanging on in this game. It's been a hot start here from TUGA, but sometimes it's just about riding that wave. But now, Dan, you're pointing out to me that the defensive walls are up.
I mean, just the front four players are like a defensive line, which means it's so difficult for Chris to get outside of his own half. And then he just gets hit on the counter-attack straight away.
Mbappe, then that's a fantastic ball out wide to Gullit. Gullit with the heel-to-heel back across goal. Just couldn't find that killer pass. And you have to say, TUGA at the moment is just bossing this second leg.
He's bossing it, but he's only got that goal lead. He needs to get that two-goal cushion, the two-gut cushion, to try and secure this one, to try and put it out
what
of
a ball
reach.
that is. Can he take advantage here? Mbappe, though, the heavy touch. Just showed too much of that to De Gea, and he gleefully came out and smothered it.
Every time that these chances are saved, Chris knows that he's still in the game. He's very calm. He's one of these players that he doesn't show much emotion. He isn't going to let it show to his opponents when he's struggling or when he's frustrated. He keeps the same kind of expression throughout every single game.
Here is a chance there for Chris. What a save that was from De Gea. Full length, full extension to get the hand on that one. And TUGA, for all of the possession and all of the chances he's had to rely on his goalkeeper there to pull off a save.
And I think that is what is going to be in the back of his mind as well, Mark. It's just that scary factor of, well, what if one of Chris's chances go in on the counter-attack? Suddenly, all my hard work, my 60% of possession suddenly gets thrown out of the window, and I'm back to square one. But these are the kind of games that he did grind out in Atlanta. When he had that goal lead, he defends ever so well with this 4-4-2. And he's doing more the same here in Singapore. I mean, how incredible would it be? Before Atlanta, he was at the semi-final, and then he gets to the cross-console final in Atlanta, and then if he was able to do it again here, he really would be up there with the best PS4 players in the world.
It's always going to be looking to go one step further, and into added time here, and there might be another opportunity before the whistle goes. Mbappe, a couple of step-overs here. Mbappe gets back to defend, and there is the half-time whistle. Still one goal separates these two players as we head into the second half of our second leg here in Singapore. Round of 16, of course, if you're just joining us. Quarter-final spot on the line for these players. And it has been a long day for them, getting through the Swiss format. And then this knockout game at the end of the day. They really would have earned those spots in the quarterfinals.
And I'd really like to see a formation change, I think, soon from Chris. Maybe this just goal difference, this one goal difference, is maybe a bad thing for Chris because he thinks that he's still in it. He does have that chance. He has had opportunities to equalize. However, I just think TUGA is running the show. But maybe I'll eat my words with this attack now from Chris.
Pull it now and look at the run inside there, and he does find him. Eusebio, the first shot of the game really for Chris. And the light shines on Eusebio. 3-3. And TUGA, that's got to hurt. The first opportunity for Chris in the second leg, and Eusebio finds the near post.
Sorry, I was busy eating my words. There we go. I mean, and resilience and sticking to what you know can work out in certain situations, and I will give Chris so much credit for that. Even though it looked like he had nothing really in the first half, and he was behind and he was on the back foot for the majority, he stuck to his guns, and he's been rewarded for it.
Here's Mbappe then, just a reminder that is the game Only really tied up, though, on aggregate for all that we're celebrating Chris's goal there, for him to get back into the game. He won't go through here unless he scores another one to take the lead. And now you can see maybe he's getting a little bit more confident, starting to grow into the game a little bit. Amazing what a goal can do. And not only for the mentality of Chris, but also for the mentality of the man he just scored against, TUGA.
If you can get TUGA out of your comfort zone, I think you're going to be in a really good spot. If you can stop him from playing this kind of defensive formation with the 4-4-2, stop him sticking players behind the ball, then you'll be feeling really good. But when TUGA's flowing well, and when he's attacking graciously and he's using his skill moves on the wings, he is a very difficult player to go up against. And that's always the terrifying thing when you're having to face someone like TUGA. It's what they're going to pull out of their back pocket next.
Well, here comes TUGA then, looking to restore his lead now after Chris stole that goal away. Half an hour left in this game, and it has been a tight game. For all of the possession dominance that TUGA has had, not too many chances to write home about.
Yeah, maybe a few corners that could have had a couple of chances from if he had just kind of drifted them into the box and hoped for a header here or there. Instead, he played the slow game, he played the possession game, he played the depriving his opponent of possession game. But after all of that, we're all tied up again. So maybe TUGA might be able to take things away from this game as well, of trying to seize the moment when it's presented in front of him.
Mbappe then, inside now to CR7. Back out to Mbappe. Danger here for Chris. TUGA looking to strike. Cristiano Ronaldo with more space inside the box. Criqueta finds the ball back to Ronaldo. Big chance, and he takes it. First time we've really seen TUGA open up Chris in this game. And he restores his lead here, and now he's just 23 minutes away from booking himself a place into the quarterfinals.
And I say Chris is one of these players that doesn't really demonstrate much in terms of how he's feeling, but you can see from his body language now, he had to work so hard to get back into this tie, to get that equaliser. And you can see behind him as well, just a clap of the hands to say, come on, mate, get back into it, don't drop your head yet. Chris has been in these situations so many times this season where he's just fallen short. And he is going to have to dig so deep. He is going to be tired. Jet lag is a thing. God knows what time it is back in America. I mean, like, what, a 13-hour difference? Up to 16, depending on where you are in the States.
Well, if you are a Chris fan and you're in the chat at the moment and you're watching this and you're hoping that your boy is going to perform, send him your energy, because he's going to need it right now. 23 minutes left for him to find a goal to send this to extra time. TUGA, though, what an impressive player we have found here in FIFA 19. Another fantastic player on the PlayStation. Now Chris, from the restart, almost finds his way through, but again, the pressure from TUGA. He's so good at reading the passing plays, and he's so good at closing down that space. It's just so tough to break him down.
And that's the thing, even though it's the 72nd minute and Chris is still a goal down, it's TUGA who's got the possession, it's him that's pushing forward.
What a move this is from Messi. Almost managed to find himself a pocket of space to get a strike away, but that was an example of what TUGA does best, those flowing passing plays, the quick movement. And now Chris may be looking to find a ball into the box. Closing down the space himself.
Ooh, look at the quick passes, though, from TUGA. Like, he's under the cosh there a bit. Blue shirts everywhere, but
the
quick
space
passes.
Here for Messi, though. This could be it. Big chance for TUGA. Can he take it? Of course he can. Waits for the movement, and look at the celebration from him. He knows how important that goal is.
And the forehead hits the table for Chris, as he knows now it is going to be near impossible to get back into this one. With the way that TUGA's been defending, with how he's controlled the game, that surely kills off this tie. Surely puts TUGA through to the quarterfinals, and unfortunately sends Chris home.
The picture says 1,000 words sometimes, and you can see the reaction from both players. Ecstasy on one side of things and just heartache on the other. Chris has to find himself very quickly here, regain composure. He's got 10 minutes left here. But he needs to pull off something special to beat a very special player in TUGA. Ronaldo then, CR7. Chris gets the ball back here. If he can find a goal, there might be an opportunity for him to get back into this. Space down the left-hand side now with Ronaldo. Whips it into the box. Eusebio gets there. Goalkeeper movement from TUGA.
And Chris just resorted to now banging his head on the table. Frustration has well and truly kicked in. That was the chance. That was his way of having any hope, I feel, because TUGA now...
frustration creeping in a bit more.
He's just going to keep possession, isn't he, Mark? He's going to control the end of this game. He's going to close this one out professionally. I may have asked questions a few events ago and said, oh, well, will TUGA know what to do in these kind of situations? Well, yeah, he's been here before. Current PS4 champion. And he is going to be the man to beat, I feel, on the PS4 side of things. And there's certainly players who are going to want to take him down. TUGA810 now back in the fray of the action.
Performing incredibly well as well on his return. Well, one man I think is going to be a name to beat today is going to beat TUGA.
Of course, it's not only TUGA810. Stefano Pino will want to make up for his somewhat disappointing tournament in Atlanta. PS4, as you mentioned earlier, really is heating up.
You do have to feel for Chris, though. It's not the first time we've seen him in this situation, and it really is difficult to keep picking yourself up and dusting yourself down tournament after tournament.
I mean, ultimately, he's 10th in the Global Series rankings. He's reached the last 16 again. He is going to be getting closer to those to the E-Club World Cup. Sorry, the E-World Cup finals as salt rubbing the wounds. Chris had put his controller pad down anyway, but of course TUGA is going to take full opportunity there. It's not be-all and end-all for Chris.
No.
This is not the last we're going to see of him. But he personally, I know, he just wants to get that little bit further in these tournaments because he is capable of doing it.
This game is going to be done and dusted, and a huge congratulations to that man on your screen.